Okay, so we're starting at Nun Amid Beis, the bottom line. Rav Gufa, Rav had said previously, you can't go ahead and make a chazaka in nichsei eshes. So, classic chazaka, you're on a field for 3 years, there's no macha. After 3 years, you're not supposed to go ahead, no need to go ahead and watch your star. And the person goes ahead and says that I've been sitting on there 3 years, and here's the star. There's no star. Chazaka? No. We said yesterday, what's the reason? Because a woman is not supposed to go ahead and be involved with her husband to know what's going on in Nichsei Miloik. She would go ahead, even though she owns the Gufa Karka, she would expect the husband who has the rights to the Paris to make the Macha. So therefore, Ein Machzikin b'Nichsei Eshes Ish, when it's the Tzayin Barzel, when it's Nichsei Miloik. However, V'Dayonei Goyla, the Dayan of Gola, you have the Rashbam saying it's Shmuel v'Karna, based upon a Gemara in Sanhedrin. Rabbeinu Gershom agrees that it's Shmuel and Karna. The Rishash brings a Girsa only Karna and not Shmuel. I think it will make a nafkamina in a second. Omru Machzikin. They say Machzikin, and she should have been Moicha. They say Machzikin, and she should have been Moicha. Okay? So Omru Le Rav Kahana Ravasi L'Rav Hadebe Mar Mishmait say, because it says right? They could. And the Rav says the halacha is like the Dayani Goyla. So if Rav is saying that halacha is like the Dayani Goyla, that you could be machzikin, obviously Rav who just said ein machzikin is going to get what and having charata. In one breath we said ein machzikin. The Dayani Goyla say yesh machzikin, and says Rav the halacha is like Dayani Goyla. So Rav Kana Ravasi said to Rav, did you have charata from your psak that you said machzikin, ein machzikin? Amalahu mistabra ami kid Rabbi Yosef. Mistama the Dayoni Goyla they were going ahead what like Rabbi Yosef. We saw a teretz yesterday. Where would the case of machzikin be? That would be where he was machzik 1 year in the life of the husband. The husband consequently died, and then 3 years he remained on the property. And the husband's out of the picture. In that case, the woman should have been moicha. So Dayoni Goyla is speaking about a specific case. Stamazoi, without the ukimta of the husband dying, right? We'd hold that a machzikin. When do we hold machzikin? When in fact the husband died, and for 3 years, unencumbered, this guy was on the property. In that situation, in that scenario, we're going to say what? Machzikin. That's what Rav meant when he said halacha Dayoni Goyla, because the Dayoni Goyla was speaking in that ukimta, where a year where the guy was alive, 3 years where he's dead, she should have been Meicha. That's the way we're going to learn the Gemara. Now, the Mishnah also said, just like a man can't be mechazik in the nichsei miloig, so too a woman can be mechazik in the nichsei baila. A woman is on her husband's land, she can't claim that the husband sold it to her after 3 years without what? What's the reason? Stamazah, you say the husband's not makbid. Just like the wife is not makbid if the husband goes ahead and eats the produce. We said even it was be'erisin, he didn't have a right, she's not going to be moicha. Who are then a husband will look away if his wife is on the field for 3 years eating produce and claiming after 3 years it was sold to her, and because he wasn't expected to go ahead what and make a macha. Because he wasn't go ahead and expect to make a macha. That's the inverse of yesterday's what? Of yesterday's daf. It's not the woman on the husband's land, not the man on the wife's land. It's the man. It's the woman on the husband's land. Pshita, it's pashit, right? Pshita, it's pashit. Kivin the Islam mizayne. The Baal has a chiyuv to go ahead and provide food for his wife. What did he do? Mizayne hu deka'achla. You know what he did? He set her up in a field and said the following: Gav chiyuv mizaynis. You stay on this field. You eat the mezainis, you'll eat the produce, and therefore I'll be Mekayim my mitzvah with you being on this field. That's what he said. So Memela, of course, you can't go ahead and be Meicha. You can't say that she can't go ahead and claim she bought the field, because there's no reason for him to be Meicha. If he established the field for her to eat, there's no reason for him to be Meicha. So Pshita that she can't go ahead and say that I bought the field. It says Letzricha the Yachid lo Ara Achrina Lemezayna. It's not pashit that what this clearly we know this field was not for Hamazainis. Clearly, we know this field was not for homizinus. Why? Because there's another field that is for homizinus. Field A, she's getting provided for, and she's living on field B, and she's eating the payers on field B. So since we know that field A is from homizinus, field B is what? Field B is not from homizinus. And nonetheless, the Baal does what? Since a man is not makbid, therefore she can't claim on field B, which wasn't for her mezainis, that what? That it was sold to her. That's the chiddush over here. That's the chiddush over here, that even though field B was not for her mezainis, nonetheless, she can't claim that what? That she bought the field. That's the chiddush over here. Now, we made a diak in the when the field in discussing Nifsei Miloik, and we made a diak the following diak. The husband can't say that what? He bought the field from her. He can't say he bought the field from her, but if he through a chazaka, we're saying chazaka, but if he being a raya either through Adim or a shtar mechira, it would be good. Right? We said that a shtar mechira, it would be good. That was the sugya of a woman is not going to anger her husband. We said she won't anger her husband by any other field. The nichsei miloig that belonged to her, right? Not a mishubadim that was mishubat to her, but her own nichsei miloig that she brought into the marriage. In that case, what the raya of a shtar mechira would be a good raya. That was yesterday's Gemara. So in this Gemara today as well, good. There's no chazaka for a woman in a husband's field. But if the woman would bring a shtar or edim that she bought the field, then you would be believed. Okay, then you would be believed. To say it's much the same Gemara. Okay. However, there's a different svara over here. Says the Gemara the following diak. No. Haraya yesh. Lema, let us say legluye zuze hu de boy. Now the Gemara is a shaila. Why would the guy sell a field to his wife? Listen to this. This is unbelievable. The guy, he's looking at the books, and he sees that, you know what? Something stimmt nicht, as they say in the vernacular. I'm missing some money. I don't know. And over a period of time, he has a good forensic accountant on the case, and they find out that what? That he's missing money. He's chayish that who took it? His wife. So perhaps, you know why is he selling her land? To go ahead and be megala that she's got some Swiss bank account where she's got money hidden. So why do you say that if she brings a shtar mechira, it's a good mechira, just like we said by him, that if he brings a shtar mechira, it's no good. Why? There's a svara to say that maybe what she's Michael, she doesn't want to be makna, but she doesn't want to anger her husband. So too over here, why do you say it's a good mechira if she buys it? Let's say the husband just wants to reveal the hidden bank account. He wants to get to the bottom of things. So how do you go ahead and unequivocally say it's a good sale if she brings a raya? That's this. Remember, it mirrors yesterday's Gemara except in different svaras. So the svara over here is maybe the reason he went ahead and sold it to his wife. Oh, where'd you get the money from, honey? Where'd you get this money from, right? Oh, so he wasn't goymeru makna. He just wanted to find out where the money came from. That's the Gemara's kasha. Says the Gemara, how do you say that it's a good raya? He wants to go ahead. Now, this Gemara is a shaila later on. So let's go ahead and say that we don't say this. Guys, the fact that we say the sale is a good sale, we don't say the svara that he wants to go ahead and reveal a hidden bank account. Shmamina, someone sells his field to his wife. Konsa, she acquires it. And we do not say, he simply sold it a field to reveal the hidden bank account. And it's a shaila later on. So let's be poished from here that you don't say that when you say that the deal goes through. Guys, we're good? Says the Gemara, Ema haraya yesh bishtar matana. Okay, you're right. When it says the diak you want to make is chazaka you don't have, but you have raya you do have, it's speaking if she shows up with a shtar matana. If she shows up with a shtar matana, there is no money involved. So obviously there's no svara that what? There's no sale for the reveal the hidden bank account. If she goes ahead and has a shtar that claims that she has a shtar, there he is. I got to give you guys a lot of credit. Three guys. If you talk up, you'll show up on the Zoom screen. Three guys in a car learning Torah. It's Gavaldi. Okay. So if you count in starting with Avrami, you're not even listening, or he's frozen, whatever. Anyway, l'chol apachas, guys. So if it's speaking about a shtar matana, there is no svara whatsoever to say he wants to go ahead and find a hidden bank account because there's no money involved. So that's when she has a raya. If she shows up, not a chazaka, but if she shows up with shtar matana, then it belongs to her. If she shows up with shtar matana, then it belongs to her. Amler of Nachman and Rav Huna. Now, guys, this is going to be tennis. You know, tennis goes dun 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 dun. We're going to have a conversation between Rav Huna and Rav Huna and Rav Nachman back and forth, and try to halt cup. I'll do the best I can to go ahead and keep score. Okay, it says now, Amler Rav Nachman Rav Huna. Mar Gabon beurta. You Rav Huna were not with us in the evening. Betchuma in the Tchum. They used to set up a yeshiva by the Tchum where people from all surrounding cities could come. The Amrin and Milium Al Yasa. And we said a Gavaldiga thing. So that's what Rav Nachman told Rav Huna. So Amalei Rav Huna said to Rav Nachman, "My Milium Al Yasa Amrisai." What was the great thing that they said? So said Rav Nachman again. See, I'm interjecting. It doesn't say Amalei. So Rav Nachman said, if someone sells a sada to his wife, kansa, she acquires it. And we don't say we don't say he wanted to find out her hidden stash. That was the milsa ma'al yasa. That was the chiddush nifla that you Rav Huna missed when you didn't come to the shir. So Amalei said Rav Huna, pshita. It's pashit. Now, fellas, outside. If I would ask you, how do you kind of karka? You'd all tell me, well, Rebbe, you taught us it's Gemara and Kedushin. Kesef, shtar, and chazaka. So you give either kesef, you give a shtar, or a chazaka. Now, by shtar, pashtus, it's the shtar that makes the kinyan. Yes? So, if you sell a field, and there is no money, because a shtar is only for the purpose of the kinyan, so of course it works. You're telling me if the guy not only gave a shtar, but he gave money, that what you don't say that the money is from a secret stash. Forget the money. Wouldn't she be kind of the field simply with the shtar? Shtar alone would go ahead and affect the kinyan, correct? So Fred the Gemara, Rav Huna says, pshita, it's pashit that she acquires the field if her husband sells it to her. Dal zuze mehacha, just go ahead, subtract the zuzim from here. V'tikni b'shtara, and you be kind of with shtar. Milay tanan, do we not learn in Masechtas Kedushin, right? Nechasim sheish lamachrayis karka nikna b'kesel b'shtar b'chazaka. So I don't understand you, Rav Nachman. What was this milim ma'alisa that if your husband sells a field and you don't say that it's simply a ruse to go ahead and find out the money? Forget the money. You got a shtar mechira. That alone affects what? That alone affects the. Here, Baruch. Here's the Israeli version of you. Amalei. So if Nachman said, no. Lav itmar Allah. Did we not learn, guys, it's important, the next line. Did we not learn on that you told me, Kesev Shtar Chazaka, Leishanu El B'Shtar Matana, that the shtar alone does the kinyan. Aval B'Shtar Mecha, Leikana Achayitin Leidemecha. But Shtar Mecha, Leikana Achayitin Leidemecha. So you, Rav Huna, want a taina. It's not a mili ma'al yasa. Why? Because there's no money. You don't need the money. The shtar alone does it. Shmuel learns on that Mishnah in Kedushin when it says you kind of with shtar alone. That's matana. But shtar, you need kesef to accompany it, right? You need shtar to accompany that. So if the shtar is being accompanied that, obviously the money is accompanying the shtar. Excuse me. So therefore, it's a mili ma'al yasa that we don't say that it was a ruse to go ahead and find that money was from a hidden place. Fred the Gemara, Valav Moisiv Rav Hamnuna. So now it's Rav Huna talking. Back to Rav Nachman. Did not Rav Hamnuna ask on Shmuel, Bishtar Ketzad, Kasav niyar, if you write on paper, oyel acheres on an earthenware, afa pishein b'shavar puta, even if it's not worth a shavar puta, sadai mechur lecha, sadai kanui lecha, harizum mechurav in a sunnah. It's written over and it's given. So you see you don't need money. And memela what? Back to the milium aliyasa. No. So therefore, what do you see? That so who's talking now? Rav Huna, we asked on this. We asked on this that what? Shtar alone does the job. Oh, right. Rav Huna says you don't need money. Shtar does the job. Says the Gemara, V'lav, and now Rav Huna is talking. V'lav hu moisiv la, who Rav Hamnuna asked the question, who Mefarik la, and who Rav Hamnuna answered the question. When don't you need cash? B'meicha sadeu mifnei ra'asa. When you sell a field because it's lousy. If you have a lousy piece of real estate, you'll get rid of it as quickly as possible. You find a buyer, you're not even going to wait for the money. You're going to just go ahead and give the shtar. So when it says, when you wrote it on a shtar, that it works without money, it's speaking a specific instance where it's a lousy piece of real estate that I want to get rid of. But normally, there is money there. But normally what? Normally what? There is money there, right? So if there's money there, normally there is money there. I'm just going to keep the cheshbon over here. So therefore, stam mechira, sadeu, through a shtar, you need kesef. Good. And nonetheless, what? You don't say that kesef was for the purpose, what, of to find out the hidden stash. So we had a dialogue between Rav Huna and Rav Nachman. Rav Huna claiming that every shtar you forget the money, shtar alone works. Rav Nachman says for mechira there's always money, and the chiddush is that we don't say that that money was what for the purpose of what of finding out a hidden stash. And that was the chiddush, despite the fact that there's money there. And Rav Nachman is concluding that for a regular stam mechira, there's money, and we don't say that that money was for the purpose what of finding out of finding out that I had a secret stash. So that was the milim al yasa, that if a person goes ahead and sells a field to his wife, the deal goes through, and even though there's money there, and she wrote a shtar mechira, he wrote a shtar mechira, and there's money accompanying that, we don't say that money. The shtar was written to find out about that money. That's the milim al yasa that Rav Nachman, and he held serve, and Rav Huna's attempt to state that shtar alone is you don't need money. Shtar alone does the job, right? That you don't need money. That was the okay. Now, Rav Ashi is going to answer. Now, Rav Hamnuna asked a question on Shmuel. Shmuel said the shtar is what you need to give money, and Hamnuna asked, you see a shtar, you don't have to give money. So we gave a teretz. It's speaking about what? A lousy field. Here's another teretz. Rav Ashi Amar b'matana bikesh litner la. It's not speaking about a mecher. It's not speaking about a mecher. Stam a mecher, right? You have to stam a mecher, you have to give money. Stam a mecher, you have to give money. But if it's a shtar matana, obviously you're giving a matana, there's no money. So when Shmuel said lo shanu el b'shtar matana, then you don't have to give money. Al b'shtar mecher lekonat shrit in the mecher. So now, frag Rav Hamnuna, shtar ketzad, even if it's not worth anything, that's going on what is shtar matana. Why is it called a shtar mecha? It's to go ahead and enhance her what, and enhance her ability. Pirish, guys. If you give a matana and it turns out that what, that you had a bal choiv, and the bal choiv will come collect it, you have to go ahead and make it up to what? To the mekabel of the matana. Again, I give a field to Rav Avi. Comes along some person, takes the field, mishubadim. Can Rav Avi come back to me and say, hey, Rabbi Stern, you're an Indian giver, I think Indian giver, right? You go ahead, you gave me something, and now it's taken away. Do I have to replace it? That's why we use the lotion of mecher. Just like a mecher goes ahead, you have to replace it. So to matana, you have to replace. That means liyapa is koyach. You're going ahead and be miyapa the koyach. You're enhancing the strength of the kabel matana, that it has a geder of mecher. Just like a mecher, you have to make it up if it's taken away. So to a matana, you have to make it up if it's taken away. Okay, so that's why you would do it. In addition, you use the lashon of matana. You use both mecher and matana. Is there's no din of bar mitzvah by matana. Guys, remember in Bar Mitzvah, we had the whole dinner Bar Mitzvah, that he gets first dibs in the property. At Kedei Kach, you can take it away from the person who bought it, but if it's matana, not. So therefore, in answer to the question, you're answering on Shmuel. Shmuel says by Mecha, you have to give money. We have it says that Rav Nuna asked that Ketzad, it doesn't mention money. That doesn't mention money because it's speaking about a shtar matana. But a shtar mecha you have to. Why is it called a shtar matana if it's a mecha? If it's a mecha, if it's a matana, why is it called a mecha? To enhance the kayach of the mekabel matana, right? The fact that he can recollect it, or that there's no dinner by mitzvah. Okay, so right now, according to Rav Nachman, we have a million ma'al yisrael. We don't say that when a husband makes a sale, it's not for the purpose of finding out the secret stash of his wife. Meisive, we're going to ask on Rav Nachman. You, Rav Nachman, say that we don't say legluye reisha, that reveal money. I'll show you that's not true. Loivim in eved, the person borrows from an eved. You have to say the money, someone gave him money, I'm not saying the rabbi v'shuspa, because you usually say masha kon eved kon rabbi. So now, you borrow money from an eved, b'shechraru, and then you free the eved, mina isha v'girsha, you go ahead and borrow money for the isha, and you divorce her, and now what? So they're the malva, and you're the loiva. Ein lahem alav klum. They can't collect from the Baal. They can't collect from the Adon. They can't collect more. Why not? My timer. He went ahead and did this. Why would a guy borrow from his Evan? Why would he go ahead and borrow from his wife? Because he wants to find out. They're skimming off the top, right? They're taking a little bit off the top. So therefore, the reason it's not, they don't have to pay. The reason he doesn't have to pay up is because he never borrowed it. He never borrowed it in the first place. He just wanted to simply find out if it's true. So what do you see? That you are chayish l'geluye milsa. Kashan Rav Nachman says you're not. Again, Rav Nachman's milim al yisah is that what? Despite the fact that you sold the field and there was money involved, you don't say that money was what? As a result of a secret stash. That was Rav Nachman. Fair the Gemara, you have a price that says what? A loiva, an isha, eved, and an isha, you borrow money. The whole reason for borrowing the money was for to find out the truth. Okay? Says the Gemara. You're probably thinking that's a very obvious difference. Over there it's halva, and there it's mecha. By mecha, we don't say it. By halva, we do say it. And if you're thinking that, you'll be right. You'll be right. Says the Gemara, the following. Shiny Hassam. It's different over there by Malva V'loiva, why we do say Legluye Milsa. Again, it's different over there why we say the whole purpose of the transaction was to find out secret funding. That was the whole purpose of the transaction. We had earlier that a person doesn't want to owe people something. He doesn't want to owe people something. So it makes sense, therefore, why in the world would he borrow from his wife to be an eved to a malva? Why would he borrow from an eved to be an eved to him? Right? Doesn't make sense. Ella must be the whole reason he did it was to megala their secret stash. But by mecher, where there is no svara to say what, there's no svara to say that loiva ishmalva because you're not a loiva. There we don't say that reason, and therefore it says Rav Nachman the milima al yisa, the deal goes through. The deal goes through. And the wife is kaina, and we don't say the reason he did it was to go ahead and find some secret funds. But so by milva v'loiver, where it's not in the guy's best interest to be called an eved, because what if you owe a person money, you always feel beholding to that person. The other svar is why did he do it? It must be to find the secret stash. Mashenki by mecha, there's no svar to say that they're not. So Rav Nachman is held serve. Guys, how are we doing? Good, we're good. Okay, Baruch Hashem. Sholach Rav Huna bar Abba. Okay, now the same shaila. Hamoicha sadl ishtai says Rav Huna bar Abba. Someone sells a field to his wife. Konsa, she acquires it. So she has the kinyan ha guf ubal oichel peris, and the husband eats the peris. So in other words, there's no shaila of what of trying to find out the secret money that she has because she acquires it. And as a side point, she gets the kinyan haguf, and he would go ahead and get Paris. But again, no svara that you're trying to go ahead and find out some secret funding. But nonetheless, Rav Abba v'Rav Avo v'chol gedolei adar omru b'matana bikesh litnu lo. When he sold the field to his wife, he wants to give it as a matana, and therefore don't eat paris. If your wife owns the field as nichsei miloig because she acquired it, then you eat the paris. But if she's given it as a matana, lock, stock, and barrel, you won't eat the paris. So this case, that when it says that a Baal sold it to his wife, you know what it meant? He gave it to her as a matana. My nafkamina. If it's a sale, you eat paris. If it's not a sale, it's a matana, you don't eat paris. But here's the key, guys. Either way, she's kaina. Right? And by the case of Mecha, we don't say that he wanted to figure out where her secret funding is coming from. That's the key. Now, why did he use the Lashon of Mecha if it was a matana? V'lama kosav law, let's change the girsa, Lashon Mecher. The liapis is kaicha. Again, it's the matana. By using the Lashon of Mecher, now she could come back if someone takes it away and collect from you. There would no be din of the mitzvah. Same thing as above. Okay? Okay. So now, they hold like Rav Nachman, binat chayish lezeluze. Mesivei, loiva, the same kasha. The Gemara asks, why are you asking the same question? The Rashbam says that in the base medrash, they learned it at the same time. Same kasha. Mesivei, loiva, mina eved, v'shichraroi, mina isha, v'girsha, ein lehem alav klum. They can't go ahead and collect. My time, what's the reason? Because really, all he wanted to do was find out whether they had secret money or stashed away. Lav mishum the amri legluyus who's the boy, kasha on mad on Rav Abba, Rav Avo, the Kol Gdoli Ador, and Rav Hamnuna Bar Ovin, major kasha. Says Gemara, no. Says Gemara, no. Shani Hasam in other words, there's a svara to say that she wanted to find out the secret stash because he doesn't want to be called a loivet. He doesn't want to be an eved. Hashem kamei mecha or matana where it doesn't exist. We don't say the svara. Good. Now, Amarav. Hamoikas sada leishtoi. If someone sells a field to his wife, konsa, the deal goes down. V'abalachal peris, right? And we don't say it's a matana, as opposed to Rav Abba, Rav Avo, V'chol Gedolei Ador. We don't say the mecha is a matana, and the whole reason you use the lashon of mecha was to be yapis koichay. We say the sale is a sale. My nafkamina, guys, whether you eat paris or not. If it's a sale, you're going to eat paris. If it's a matana, you're not. So Rav is openly arguing on Rav Abba, Rav Avo, and the Gedolei Ador. Good. Because they said, well, really, it's not a mecha, really, it's a matana, and the whole reason you said mecha was liyapis koicha. Says the Gemara. B'matana, kansa, ve'ena balachal peris. Okay, good, I just explained that. Rebbe Loza amar echad zeh, kansa ve'ena balachal peris. So even by mecha, Rebbe Loza says, you don't eat peris. So they're arguing by mecha. The deal goes through, everyone agrees. Question, by mecha, does the Bali Paris not? Says Rav eats Paris. Says Rebbe Loza, you don't. A little history over here. You should know this. So Rebbe Loza is Rebbe Loza Bar Abba. He is the Talmud Muvik of Rabbi Yochanan. He's the Talmud Muvik of Rabbi Yochanan. And of course, Rabbi Yochanan and Rav were contemporaries. Rabbi Yochanan and Rav were contemporaries. They were the greatest of the Amoraim. They were the greatest of Amoraim. And that backdrop, it makes a little sense to the Gemara now. So what happens? So again, guys, mecher to your wife, the deal goes through. We're not worried about money, the hidden money. Question, do you eat Paris or not? Says Rav, you eat Paris. Says Rabbi Loza, you do not eat Paris. So Rabbi Loza is arguing on Rav. Ovid Rav Chista, Uvdok Rabbi Loza. So Rav Chista went ahead and he acted like Rabbi Loza, meaning a sale went through and the Baal did not eat Paris. Omrulei, who they said to him, Rav Chista, Rabbana Ukva, Rav Nechemia, Bnei Beis the Rav, they were the grandchildren of Rav, and they're coming and saying, right, the Rav Chista, Shavik my Rav Ravi, V'ovid Kizutri, you're going ahead and leaving the great one, Rav, and you're doing like the small one, Rabbi Loza, who's the Talmud of Rabbi Yochanan. So Pashtus, you have two Amoraim over here, choice between Rav and Rabbi Loza. So the Bnei Rav, the grandchildren, are standing up for cover to Rav. You should be able to eat the Paris. And you, Rav Chista, Pascaling, you can't eat the Paris if a woman buys it from a husband. The husband doesn't eat Paris. So Amalei Rav Chista said, "No nami kravdi avdi." You know what? I didn't do like Rebbe Loza. I did like Rabbi Yochanan. Who's what? Who's a Ravavi? The Chiyasa Ravin, Rabbi Yochanan, Echad Zeh v'Echad Zeh, whether it's a sale or a matana, kansa, the woman acquires it. The ein habal oichel peris. So Rabbi Yochanan or Rabbi Elazar was saying over the Torah of his Rebbe that even by a mecha, the Baal does not eat peris. So therefore, I held like Rabbi Yochanan and not like Rav. Amarava, Hilchasad halacha is hamoicha sada leishtoi. If someone sells a field to his wife, loy kansa, you don't acquire it. V'habal oichel peris, which seems to be totally ridiculous, right? Guys, it's a stirim in obey. The whole reason to eat peris, what, is if she, in other words, if the sale doesn't go through, he doesn't only get the peris, he has the good for the karka, guys. You own a field, you're selling it to your wife. The sale doesn't go through, he eats the peris. What do you mean he eats the peris? He owns the goof also. If loy kansa, you own everything, right? It doesn't make any sense. When you say you eat peris, that's when you don't have the goof anymore. If you have the goof, of course you eat peris. So that the Gemara is going to ask in a second, guys. You hear the problem. It doesn't make any sense. However, about peris, of course he eats peris. The goof is his as well. The matana kansa bein about peris. And by matana, you do acquire, but you don't eat peris. Good. Tarti, says the Russian. Tarti, on the first statement of Rav, Mechira does not go through. Mashma doesn't go through because you're worried about, the money. I guess the only reason not to go through is because you want to find out the hidden stash. But the bottom line is, why would you say you don't need Paris? Of course you don't need Paris. Tarti doesn't make any sense. Guys, look at Rashman for a second. Tarti, Bitniya, Shnei Devarim Shel Rava Soisim Zeh Loi Konsa Mashma, Loi Guf, Loi Paris. Mashma, you don't get anything, not the Guf and not the Paris. The Gluy Zuzi who the boy, because he wanted to find out her money. Baal Paris mashma shekonsa gufa karka. Baal eats Paris is mashma that what? She is kaina. The lavla gluyusuyu device. In other words, it seems to be a stirim in ayubay. On one hand, you're telling me you don't acquire. Why? Because you wanted to find out the money. On the other hand, you're saying he eat the Paris is mashma that what? That the deal goes through and you're not worried about the money, right? So how do you explain the two? And for the Gemara, I'll tell you how. Like kasha. Kam b'mois tamunim, kam b'mois sheina tamunim. If the Adam show up and they say, you know what? We know the deal went through. The woman had a bank account. We know that there was no hidden fees, no hidden everything, there's no stash whatsoever. Then clearly what? Then clearly the deal then Baal gets the Paris. Why? Because the deal went through. Masha'en Kain, if it's a hidden stuff, then so you don't know, then what? Then we say that what? That then the deal doesn't go through. So when money is hidden, when is she not kinda? That's what's hidden money, and therefore what? The whole reason he did it, right, was to go ahead and find the money, and therefore in kainsa he wasn't going with makna. Kan, where you are kaina is speaking where the money was not tmunim, it wasn't hidden, and he knew the money. There's nothing to reveal, and therefore what? She's kaina and the balis the Paris. Dam Rav Yehuda mois tmunim loy kansa. Mois tmunim you don't acquire. Mois she'ena tmunim kansa. Mois that ena tmunim what will be kaina. Dam Rav Yehuda, which we just said. Okay, Kishmak.